What's going on? Truth Reality, we're back. Look, man, today we're going to be talking about the death toll since the war in the Middle East since 2001 is basically what I'm getting at here. This data is going to be off of the Brown University's Cost of War project. Look, man, these estimates are a little bit lower because you'll hear why here in a second, but the total death estimate from the wars in the three countries, and that's part of it, is because they're only taken from three, is Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. They're saying at least, this is total, this is from both sides, at least 480,000 people died directly. More than 244,000 were civilians. Now let's think about that for a second, guys. That's just you walking in the street. You could have a totally different outlook on the people than the people that are running the country. You know what I'm saying? That's like us in America. Not everybody on the street has the same views. So why are we going to kill innocent people that haven't done nothing wrong? Especially when it's close. It's a little bit over half of the whole death toll is people that don't even have a dog in a fight sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of outrageous, that we're just killing innocent people. I mean, I'm sure, I get what you're saying, you know what I'm saying? They ran the planes, according to some people's beliefs, they ran the planes into the World Trade Center, they killed, hundreds if not thousands of people that day. So let's go over there and kill them all. Some people are like that. But if you really look down at the truth, we staged that attack on ourselves, and an excuse to get over there and to completely take over that Middle East realm. And I'm coming a video right after this one to explain why we actually went over there in the first place. So anyways, but look, man, like I said, these 244,000 civilians, guys, that's ridiculous. That's outrageous. And especially the fact that most of these conflicts had to be dealt with in war, because it doesn't make any sense if you really think about it. If we sit down and have a conversation with these people face to face, you'll realize that you don't need to kill that other person. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, these are direct deaths, by the way. The indirect deaths, so that's like accidental, like caught in the crossfire. That totals running into the millions. And just imagine how many civilians that totals to. It's probably like 3/4, son. So that's just plain ridiculous, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, because the military, they're supposed to pride themselves on low civilian death count. But if you look at the data, they're not really keeping count of the civilian death count because they know it's way too fucking high. Way too fucking high. Like I said, these are low estimates because, the limited access to data and information, and also the limited toll here on three countries. That's it. So, we're over there and more than that, Iran and stuff like that. So let's think about this. So we got, if the other countries, the U.S. went into, were included, like we invaded Libya, Yemen, Somalia, or Syria, the toll would be several times higher. So that would be our actual total. These are just totals that the government's kind of producing to kind of cloud the fact that these deaths are in the millions. If you look at certain research studies, their deaths are in the millions, not the 100,000s. Because 480,000 is still horrible, but once you hear that million tone, that just sounds a little bit different. It hits you a little bit harder. So anyways, most of the U.S. Population, unless you're really into politics, especially with where Trump is coming out, and demonizing these, just like every other president. I'm not demonizing Trump, but just like every other president has in demonizing the Middle East. That's the only reminder that you have that we're actually at war. But most time in your day-to-day life, you forget that we are at war, and people are dying, and especially innocent civilians are dying. For what at this point? For what? You know what I'm saying? I'm not really quite sure. But on to the U.S. soldier deaths. Now these, I'm gonna be honest with you, these are low estimates because these are the government produced. They're going to make it seem like less than it actually is. Okay, so we got roughly 7,000 American soldiers, and this is only in 3 countries: Afghanistan, Iraq, and Pakistan. So this is around 7,000. You know what I'm saying? That's just the American soldiers. Okay, but they also have this thing where they have private contractors that's hired by the government, and it's our people. It's not like they're not, you know what I'm saying, they're not the U.S. civilians. They are private contractors, so they're not really a part of the military, but they're privately contracted by the government to do certain other things. So you can basically tack that on, basically, if you, I mean, you know what I'm saying, to the American people deaths is what I'm getting at here. Excuse me. That's around eight more thousand. Tens and thousands of Americans have been wounded in battle, with many having lifelong implications of impairment. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, people getting their legs blown off or whatever the hell it may be, that's going to affect them for the rest of their life. And honestly, the people, once they get back, are treated horribly. If you really look at it, we don't do what we're supposed to do to support our veterans. If in a true sane society, you know, we would definitely take care of our veterans a lot more than we do. But that's the thing, we live in an insane society, so of course we do insane things like not give them the help and things that they need, especially if they're disabled at this point, with their limbs missing at this point, which is insane. But if you really think about it, it's a sad, because I've said this before, similar to this, but it's sad because we don't need to go to war. The war is created by us. In terms of us, I mean the government or the shadow government, whoever you want to deem responsible. Just the powers that be is what I'm getting at here. So, like I said, we don't need to go to war. It's self-created war, and we use our own people to get across. So if you got to think about it, they're heightening the people most that are risking their lives for the agenda that they're trying to push across, because that's basically what this war and kind of thing is doing, is pushing across the agenda that they want to push across, and it's furthering the agenda that they need to further. So of course they're gonna, you know, give them the most praise. They'll give them the most praise, but boy, they don't really help them much. You know what I'm saying? They'll say all these nice things about them, but where's the actual assistance and stuff like that? But anyways, so moving from that, you got when we moved from a draft system to an all volunteer system, it really allowed for the reality that we are at war to shift to the back of people's mind. Because once you had that draft, it's like, damn, okay, here we go. You know, we're at war. We got to go to, you know what I'm saying? Is my name going to be called in the draft? Now it's all volunteer. So it's like, who the fuck knows what's going on? I mean, honestly, if you ask the person down the street, like, are you worried about the war in the Middle East? I mean, they might say yes because they've heard it on the nightly news, but are they really worried about it in their daily life? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? So this is, they're trying to get you not necessarily used to it at this point, but like, it's okay that we're killing hella people. For what reason at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, maybe we should have went over there. If you believe that they attacked us in 2001, go over there for like a fucking year or two, you know what I'm saying? Do some damage if that's your thing. And then, you know what I'm saying, then you're good. But let's be realistic here. That's not the fucking thing that they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They want to stay over there forever, because even Trump came out recently, and I watched it on Joe's podcast. I'm going to see if I can pull up the link to that video where Trump is saying that he tried to remove troops from the Middle East, but a lot of people in Congress acted like they never wanted to leave that war. So there's only so much you can do as a president. So I know people are demonizing him to the fucking max, but there's only so much you can do. You know what I'm saying? Because just you're the president, you're not the dictator. You know what I'm saying? So you can't make all the decisions. You can make some important ones and make some certain things shift, but you cannot change the entire country as a whole. In my opinion, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, so, there's also another death toll. Sorry, I forgot to include this. The national military and police, were around 110,000 killed. So that really shoots the fucking total way up. And you got to think of the totals they're not telling us about, or the totals that haven't updated yet. and the fact that this is only in 3 countries instead of all the fucking countries in the Middle East that we've invaded, because we've invaded more than 3. It's just insane. It's just mind-boggling. You know what I'm saying? It's depressing to the certain fact that it's unnecessary that the American people have to die on the premise of the elite's agenda. Because that's really what they're doing. I mean, they're just like using the people that join the military as fucking pawn pieces on a chessboard. Or if you've ever played the game Risk, I think it's called, where you take over whole fucking countries. Like, it's got, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole fucking board. It takes like a long time to finish the game. You take over certain countries. This is kind of what they're doing. They're using us as the fucking pieces in real life, and causing real deaths. You know what I'm saying? Not fake deaths. So it's ridiculous. But anyways, on to the money spent by the military since 9/11. Would you believe that they have spent almost $2 trillion? I'm gonna say that's with a T, my friends. 2 trillion. Holy shit, it's fucking ridiculous. Okay, so look, man. This is according to a defense casualty analysis system. This is like a document released, or not a document. It's a website released by the military of wounded and deaths in those 3 wars. It roughly equals 55,000. And if you go by the numbers that I just told you, that's way underreported. So a different study, by the way, like I told you, says as high as 2.4 million people have died since 9/11 in those wars that they've been trying to stay over there and get us to fight for them. And like I said, this can be solved with a fucking conversation. We've lost the, oh, you disagree with me? Okay, well, let's see why you disagree with me. We've lost the, why do you disagree? No, fuck that. Okay, you don't agree with me? Let's pop your ass. That doesn't make any sense, guys. It just doesn't make any sense. If we're gonna be honest with ourselves, I mean, just think about it for a second. Think about this for a second. I mean, if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, it's especially based off religion. Most of the wars that are started nowadays. Tell me if this makes any sense. Okay, so you're reading a biography on some certain celebrity of some kind. I don't know, fucking Will Smith, since I just watched the new Aladdin. That was actually pretty good, by the way. But anyways, you're reading a biography on Will Smith. You believe all the things that the biography tell you to be true. This other person's reading a similar book, the same on a biography of Will Smith also, but it doesn't have the same information. It's got a slightly different factual base than the other book, and you both believe yourselves to be 100% correct. Does it seem understandable to go kill that person for that? No, I didn't think so. If you're a sane human being. But like I said, I mean, there's reasons why it seems so fucking insane once you step out the realm of society. Because society is the matrix inside the matrix. Okay, the 9 to 5, fucking, where's the next paycheck coming from? Where's the next, ooh, I gotta go buy myself a fucking nice car. Ooh, I gotta go buy myself this $200,000, $300,000 house. You know what I'm saying? Those are honestly not things you need. If you go look at houses that are like $150,000, boy, you can find some fucking nice ones. Let's be honest with ourselves. But they just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing that, oh, you need a 30-year loan, and you're going to be strapped in for 30 years. Especially if you're not putting down a 20% down payment, you get an extra tack on each month of a payment. Anyways, getting into real estate at this point. But what I'm saying here is that these things are outrageous. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Because if you look at it from a sane person's point of view, and when I mean sane, that a normal person in today's society will call you insane. you realize that everything that you've been told is either a lie or completely looked at the wrong fucking way. Because like I said, I mean, where I was going with this was also, was that the people, the elites, or the people behind the elites, and even deeper into the realm of the unseen, these beings, or just the people, it's either the people are super greedy and they're just that fucking money hungry, or you have that so fucking money hungry that it clouds their judgment of value for a normal human life, because that's what they're toying with when they toy with the fucking military and go in, invade, and kill innocent people into the numbers of thousands, millions. Sorry, excuse me. You have either the normal human being, well, not normal at that point because they're too fucking money hungry, but you get what I'm saying here. You have the human, is what I mean. Or behind them, you have the entity that is not of human form, that does not have the same morality that we do as human beings. And that's why you see them take these certain things that don't make any sense in terms of, if you were a true human and had the morality of a true human and had the empathy, the sympathy, the understanding ability, these things would never pop into your mind. They just wouldn't. Unless this one person has done something completely unfathomable, which to some people was 9/11. But looking at 9/11, ladies and gentlemen, we weren't hit by planes from the Middle East that day. I'm just going to be honest with you and say that. But anyways, this has been the death total from the war since 9/11, and just to show you the amount of people that have been killed. And this is what I'm saying, regardless of whether they're from another country or from our country, they're people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say that. How many people have been killed, regardless if they're U.S. citizens, regardless if they're citizens of Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of their home country, where they reside, they're people. So just to show you the amount of people that have died because of some orchestrated event is what I'll describe it as, that had mind controlled just about the entire U.S. population. So anyways, like I said, that's it. And then the next video is coming to explain why we went over there in the first place, of why we wanted to control that realm over there. So anyways, this has been the U.S. total, not the U.S., the world total death toll in terms of over there in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Just to show you that it's out of hand. So I'll see you next time. Adios.